This is DippyGames420 bringing to you a new review on the original S.H.Figuarts Trunks figure. So, since the new one recently came out in Japan, figured we'd take a trip down memory lane to see what the original version was like. And I figured, what other way to go down memory lane and to have a Billy Mays opening skit.
Hi, Billy Mays here to kick your
Which may or may not have made the final cut, who knows. Yeah, as you can see, I'm filming in much higher quality than I ever was before. Gone are the days of filming with a 3DS and then rendering it in 720p. Now I'm filming with a Samsung S6, filming in 4K, and hopefully rendering it in 1080p, who knows. I might not be able to render it in 1080p just fine, but maybe 720p will be salvageable. Then again, my PC can't handle 1080, so who knows. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Anyways, let's have a look at Trunks' package, which I obviously have had him out of package before because I've already shot a review of the figure, but that was a year ago, and we shall not mention that ever again past this point.
Don't listen. I just told you exactly what to do if you want to defeat me.
So, on the front of the package, we have a clear window right there, revealing Trunks, all nice inside of his package with all his goodies there. You can kind of see that I touched up on his eyes a little bit. Decided that the blue pupils kind of looked weird, so I decided to touch them up a little bit. It wasn't that hard. All it takes is a Uniball ink pen and some minor artistic skill. My artistic skill is practically non-existent, so with the Uniball pen you just very carefully touch up the blue area in the eyes. You want to make sure that the face is detached from the figure before you do anything, and I would highly advise displaying it with the Super Saiyan head for a month or so if you really truthfully want my honest to God opinion. Anywhere between a week to a month should do the trick for the faces to dry. I've had this method done since July. I mean, maybe it takes shorter, I don't know. I just sort of kept his faces in the box for a month, and then they were just fine when I took them out, so I suppose it worked. Going down to the bottom of the box here, we got the Dragon Ball Z logo, Bandai Tamashii Nations logos, as well as the silver Toei sticker. The warning, the do not give to small children or they're gonna die. We got the S.H.Figuarts blah 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 whatever. We got Trunks' name right there. S.H.Figuarts logo, nice eye-bleeding blue and purple, along with that awful yellow. Real nice color combination, Tamashii. I just do love going colorblind the second I open up my box. We got some random Japanese, I'm assuming that says product, may differ from photo because that's on just about every other S.H.Figuarts figure. We got a nice little picture of Trunks there. Kind of wish the stern face, or gridded face looked like that. Showcases something that you should never ever 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 do with your Trunks figure.
Never ever?
Never, ever, ever.
Never ever 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 ever?
Never, ever, never, ever.
Which we'll get into when we get to it. We got Trunks on the side here. S.H.Figuarts logo at the top. My box is a little bashed because it's a little over a year old now, so there's the bio on the back of the box, just a bunch of random pictures of Trunks. Nothing really to write home about, to be honest. Then we got Simple Style 8 Heroic Action at the top. Never understood why they didn't just put the word "and" at the top as opposed to just that weird symbol that looks like an 8. Got Ha and Ag in Comic Sans, Trunks' name again. Raging face parts as well as interchangeable hand parts allow for the depiction of the belligerent Trunks, even though belligerent isn't the word I'd use to describe Trunks. Whatever. Then you just got another blurb. Side of the box, we just got daughter Trunks. Top of the box, we just got S.H.Figuarts, Trunks, burning attack. Usual stuff. Bottom of the box, we just got the caution, warning, don't give it to children, that bluefin just sort of sheepishly slapped on there, haphazardly, as they did with all the older figures. Now, something to note is that the bootleg Trunks, which was initially made by Long Yi, then the mold was stolen from Long Yi to make an even worse knockoff. The worst knockoff comes in a package that looks identical to this box in every way. Don't be fooled by a knockoff Trunks if it has this box. There are a whole bunch of dead giveaways. That about does it for the box.
Hey, he's behind you!
This is Trunks outside of the package. Let's take a look at the paint and sculpt on Trunks. So, taking a closer up look at Trunks' paint and sculpt, and I'd say for the most part, Tamashi pretty much knocked it out of the park with this figure. Even a year, almost 2 years later, this thing still holds up. Even though the new Dragon Ball Super version, the Xenoverse version, and the Cell Saga version is all out, this Trunks is still really good. The sculpt is really, really nice. You can see there the little stitches in his jacket, along with the little denim detailing pockets right there. Collar has consistent stitching all throughout. Hair is really nicely textured. Very clearly see it does look pretty cool. Quick gripe, I'm not sure if this is just the camera or what. No, it's not just the camera. Hair seems a little dirty right there. There are a couple nicks here and there, but they are fairly unnoticeable. And you can see right there we got a hole in his back for a specific purpose, which we'll get to later. And right about here is where we have another telltale sign if it's official or not. You see these little prints right here in the black of his tank top. Pretty clever method of hiding it, but it also makes it super hard to tell it's an official Trunks. But if you just shine it up to a light, you should be able to see those peek through the light. The Capsule Corp logo, which looks pretty nice. Detailing on his belt could have been a lot cleaner in my honest opinion, but it still does look pretty good. This sexy Trunks booty, oh my, oh my. Wrinkles in the pants are sculpted very nice. We even have a little zip sculpted on the front, which is really weird, but okay. The sculpt is really consistent all throughout. Even with the kneecap joint, it still is very flush and uniform, which is something that I appreciate. No real shading on the boots, and the boots have a bit of paint coming off on the front end, but it's not that bad. There's even a little on the bottom. It's not that awful. I mean, barely noticeable if you have them on display, especially if you've got them in an action pose or you got someone in front of him. It's definitely not noticeable, especially given this figure's size. He's actually really not that big. So yep, that does it for paint and sculpt.
If they set that android free, it will be the end of all of us!
Moving on to the articulation of Trunks. The head doesn't move up at all, but moves down just fine, side to side. Just fine. Chest moves around pretty good. The waist helps quite a bit, and it does have quite a bit of movement. Swivels at the torso, and then swivels the slightest bit the chest. His arm moves up pretty high, swivels all around. Doesn't go too far forward. It does swivel. It does bend at the bicep. Swivels and rotates at the wrist hinge, which is slightly different from your average release. The leg kicks up about that high. Double joint at the knee. And I got ankle pivot and swivel. And then it does hinge at the toe. So you got some decent movement on Trunks. Mine's a bit loose because, again, it's almost 2 years old now. Let's move on to the accessories that he comes with. So as far as accessories that are oh so sexy, Time Traveler comes with, we do have powered down head, which is on him right now. Again, I'm really digging the sculpt of this. So I'm really digging the powered down sculpt. We also get a Super Saiyan head, which looks really cool for the most part. Mine has quite a bit of scratches in it, but that's because I'm an idiot and Trunks falls over a lot. It's a bit of an issue, but I'm assuming that's my fault because I'm a bit of an idiot. I'm a bit of an idiot often. I don't know why I keep slurring when I say idiot, but whatever. Face looks pretty good. Does have a bit of a scratch there, but it is a pretty cool accessory. And they also have the reason why he has the peg hole on his back and the bane of my existence, sheath. Now, the reason why I say you probably should never peg this in is because of this peg. The way they've set the damn thing up is this piece right here. Once you've shoved it inside of his back, you have to actively strain this piece to wrap around him and snap it into place. That builds up tension on this peg, and then eventually one wrong move in the wrong direction in the wrong neighborhood and Trunks' sheath right off his back, and then you're screwed out of $100, buddy. Game over. And of course, what good would a Trunks figure of this design be without his trusty sword, which looks really cool. I absolutely love the shiny look to this sword. Handle I wish was matte, but I guess it works. Detail looks pretty good. Mine is a bit scuffed around the tip, and the tip did chip off a little, but it's not that noticeable. Then we have this sword, which can be used for either a broken sword when 18 smashed it, or it slips into here and then it looks like it's been stowed away in the sheath, which is a pretty cool little add-on. As far as the faces go on Trunks, we have the smiling face, which is default for him in the package. I really dig this sculpt, especially with the black pupil touch-up. It looks really nice. Even without it, it looks really nice. Portrays really good accuracy to Trunks. Then we have the stern face, which looks pretty good. The pupils show a little glossy on camera because of my lights, but it does look pretty good. Then we have looking off to the side, angry face, which looks really good. No real complaints here. And we have this face, which looked kind of weird when I first got it, but after I touched it up, it looked pretty alright. So no complaints there. So as far as the Super Saiyan faces go, we have the stern face, which looks pretty good. The camera's picking up as really yellow, and I never understood why it does that. Then we have a angry, gritted teeth face. Looks pretty good, I suppose. Again, I do wish the pupils were a little different, but it still looks fairly good. And we have the screaming face, which looks a lot better in Super Saiyan in my opinion. Quick comparison between the powered down and Super Saiyan face. Definitely see why I like the Super Saiyan one better. And we have a kinda sorta happy, but at the same time cocky smirk type of face. I can tell you right now, it is not the same happy smiling face that this head came with, but it still portrays a great likeness to Trunks. Something that this figure does astonishingly well. And then for switching the faces out, it's pretty straightforward. You just lift up on Trunks' pimpin' golden locks, move the face, and then you just find the one you want, shove it in there, and then you just put that hairpiece back on, and then that does the powered down head. Just pull the front off and pull the face off. It requires a bit of force. You just find the face you want and shove it in there. Peg holes are different for both heads, so you're not going to be able to just get a Super Saiyan face on the powered down head that easily. You'd probably have to re-sculpt it or something like that. And same with faces that don't fit on the Super Saiyan head. Speaking of which, I will show you what the Super Saiyan head looks like on Trunks. It's fairly straightforward. Swapping it out, you just pop the head off the joint. See a little bit of paint chipping on mine. Again, not a huge deal. Just some minor chips here and there. It definitely doesn't look good on the quality control end, but it was hand painted, so I can forgive them in that regard. And hey, I mean, at least the paint isn't fused with the joints like a certain company that I know of.
Probably gonna be the same. Oh, Jesus!
And that's what Trunks looks like with the Super Saiyan head on. Looks really good. And it does move a little bit more, but not by much. So even with the Super Saiyan head on, you're not going to be getting a lot of head movement, so that sucks. So that does it for most of Trunks' faces. As you see right now, he's got the fists on, far as hands go, we've got the martial arts posing hands, karate chopping hands, which do have slight orange airbrush going through them, which does look rather nice. We have open palm key blast hands, again with the orange airbrushing all throughout. Relaxed hands, which look pretty good. I do like how they actually sculpted the little indents in between the fingers. Just really gives that extra bit of detail. All of these sword gripping hands, one of which is actually at an angle. So you can have the sword at more of an angular position. And then he has the thumbs up hand, which is pretty good.
Wow, but the door games for 20. How do you get Trunks' sheath on?
Well, that's plain and simple, and I have a bit of a workaround for it. I have a couple workarounds. First method, just sort of put the thing on his shoulder there. Being very careful not to peg it in. And just sort of have it float there, which looks a little awkward, but with some repositioning, you can sort of tuck it behind his collar, and then it won't look half as awkward. You can halfway peg it in, which I strongly do not recommend. I'll just take it out off camera. Take the sheath off camera. Probably have to take the damn head off. Jesus Christ, how tight is this damn peg attached to? Oh, never mind, it just detached. So what I did was I took the belt, put it over top where the peg broke off, and then wrapped tape around the whole thing. And I put tape inside of the peg hole because it disconnected really easily. And I also put a little bit of tape in there because this hilt does not stay in. Unless you have tape in there.
Hi, Phil Swift here for Swift's sake!
And then you just wrap it around as you usually do with Trunks' sheath. Bam! Works a lot better than flex gluing it back together.
Hi, Phil Swift here for Swift's sake!
So that does it for Trunks. Final thoughts on Trunks. I strongly recommend you get this one if you have the money. It is a really, really cool figure. It has a whole bunch of accessories. Articulation's a bit limited in some spots, but you can definitely work around it and get some really cool poses out of this figure in the end. And that about does it for me, and I'll see you guys next time.
Hi, Billy Mays here.
Hi, Phil Swift here.